Hello there, guys, and welcome into another podcast as such. We're not doing the Raw review, we're not doing the SmackDown review. We are going to finish up with the top moments of wrestling from this year. Of course, we have the legendary Saul
Hello there.
aside. And we're going to be talking about the best moments wrestling-wise of 2022, not just WWE related, all things wrestling throughout the year.
The whole Wrestleverse.
Yeah, we're going to miss out a lot of moments because these are our top moments. They're not in any order. We haven't got a specific lot. It's just kind of what comes about when we see it. Because, like I say, we've got quite a few moments here and there. Some matches, some actual moments. You know, some kind of the way they've had a year and where they've got to. The best wrestler of the year, male and female, and stuff like that. Basically, it's a see how it goes kind of thingy. But one thing I will say is that one of the best moments of the year came at Christmas because we now officially have a Rammy of Honor Championship that you can see right here on your screen. And this bad boy is going to be featured on the channel quite a bit. But we now have...
He hasn't dropped that title. Whenever I've seen him on camera in Discord, he's got that over his shoulder.
This is the Rammy of Honor Championship. You've got, you know... no, shout out to my dad for this, because this was an amazing present. And like I say, one of the best moments wrestling for me is I finally got my hands on a wrestling belt. And the reason I bring it up is, as a kid, having a belt is one of the things you dream of. And it could be someone winning a belt, could be someone losing a belt, could be someone having two belts and not know what to do with them, eh, Roman? I'll take the belts off you. I'll take 3 belts if you want. I've already got mine. Now, I can take the 2 off you if you need. But without further ado, Saul, what is one of your top moments of wrestling?
I think we'll start off with going back to the Royal Rumble at the start of the year. And one of my top moments was actually having a champion from a non-WWE champion featured in the Royal Rumble. And of course, I'm talking about Mickie James, his appearance at the Royal Rumble. She was Impact women's champion at the time. Can't remember if is it still called it could be Knockouts.
Yes,
champion.
the Women's Knockouts Championship.
Champion, yeah. And it surprisingly, this was when Vince was still in charge, so that was a bit of a shock. But yeah, it's been the first time in a very, very, very long time that we've seen a champion from a different company other than WWE. Back when Vince was in charge, they just didn't like to acknowledge that other companies really existed. And having her come out in the Royal Rumble with her Impact World Women's Knockout Championship.
Especially considering the way she got released, when she got literally given the bags, here's your stuff.
Yeah,
it was disgusting.
Back bin liner stuff.
And it wasn't Vince, it wasn't Steph, it was just the head of creative at the time, just dished it out. Now at this point you've got to remember, Triple H is not in charge, he's actually still recovering from his stroke, was it? Did he have a stroke?
Yeah, heart attack or stroke, something. He's got like a pacemaker or something, I think, attached now, hasn't he?
So at this point, Mickie got released from the company in a very shit way. And they brought her back in the Royal Rumble as the Knockout Champion. You know, they brought her back and she's from TNA. Now, we currently have a champion from another promotion, which is Carl Anderson, which is the Neverweight Open Championship also. And he is going to wrestle at New Japan whilst being contracted to WWE. So, without obviously describing Mickey's thing, it's a case of now Triple H is in charge. It's a step in the right direction. The Mickie was the start of it. It showed you can have different people from different promotions turn up. It's not a bad thing, nor should it be. You know, you want to promote. I mean, me and Saul were saying this earlier. You want to work together with the people around you and build something better. AEW and WWE should not be at war, in our opinion.
No.
It's a case of they work together and lend stars here and there. You could make a massive wrestling community. They already have, obviously, but you could definitely make stuff a lot more than what it is.
Yeah, I think it's also now with Triple H being in charge, it's definitely more likely that they could go in that direction at some point.
Yes.
With Vince around, it was never going to happen. Vince would have wanted WWE to win everything when they were up against another company because he'd have wanted to look the best.
Yeah.
But I think with Triple H, you'll get some give. If there's a thing, he'd be happy to have a WWE star lose to an AEW star, and Tony Khan would be all right with an AEW star losing to a WWE star now and again. Whereas Vince would just want WWE winning every match.
Yeah. Keep away from WWE actually for the moment. One of my next top moments of the year is the Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
Yep, that was
Seeing
something else.
Kazuchika Okada versus Jay White versus Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega.
That was an incredible match, wasn't it?
Like, what a match. You know, the finish we'll disregard because we're not bothered about the match. But the actual Forbidden Door pay-per-view was brilliant. Kazuchika Okada coming over to America for the first time in God knows how many years. You had such matches as Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. You know, obviously, sorry, it was the Hangman Adam Page as well. It wasn't Kenny Omega, it was Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah.
And we obviously got Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, a match that Jon Moxley I know wanted for ages. It was so good to see that we can work together. This is going off the back of what we were just saying. It's so nice to be able to see companies working together. Again, in the Forbidden Door, we had Jay White and Okada from New Japan wrestling Adam Cole and Hangman Adam Page, two of the best wrestlers on AEW's roster, in my opinion, at least. Anyway, for the title, nevertheless, or was it a title? Let's have a quick look. Because the IW. It's possible. Yeah, it was. It was the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship.
Jay White's championship, wasn't it?
And Jay White retained, did he not? Yeah, he retained. And like I say, obviously we had Moxley and Tanahashi for whatever else it was.
That was the then I think interim title, wasn't it?
Yes. So for me, one of the next ones was, like I say, the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, showing that companies can work together and can make a great pay-per-view, can make great stuff happen.
That's what we were talking about how it can be done right, and both companies had wrestlers who were picking up wins. It wasn't all AEW and it wasn't all New Japan. They sort of shared it between them so that both companies ended up looking like they had strong wrestlers, and that's just the way that you do a multi-company pay-per-view.
Yes. Right. Yours?
My next one is, again, it's away from WWE, and it's not really a highlight, but I think it's an important thing that we need to talk about, and that is CM Punk winning the championship, the AEW Heavyweight Championship, and then the controversial press conference afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, because the build up to this, first of all, we have to go over. We had the thing with CM Punk kayfabe breaking his foot or injuring his foot and getting beaten. I think it was like a 2-minute match tops, wasn't it?
Yeah, with Moxley. Yeah, Moxley squashed him.
Yep, we had that squash match, and so that was a bit weird. And I was thinking, how are they going to sort of resolve the situation? And then we got the actual match. I think it was about a fortnight later, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And at the time, it seemed a bit weird because his foot was so injured he couldn't stand on it, and then he managed to compete 2 weeks later in a title match and win. And I mean, that was a big moment as CM Punk's first title in 7-8 years, possibly. How long has he been away from wrestling? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Been down a long time. Obviously, he had time in UFC, which didn't go to plan.
No.
But yeah, I think it's his first major title since the Summer of Punk, which I'm pretty sure was like 2012ish. Because was it 2012 or 2013 where CM Punk
13, I think,
was on the cover of the wrestling games, and he's got obviously his ex up there, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's 2013. So yeah, we're talking about 9-10 years, aren't we? Really. And so we had the match against Moxley, which was a really good match. But then we had the pay-per-view at the press conference after,
Mhm.
and then all the stuff that happened after that.
Yeah.
And obviously, at the time, there was people wondering if it was a work,
Mhm.
which obviously
It is not.
it is not a work, because I mean, if it's a work, this is the greatest work
Yeah.
in wrestling history.
Ever.
But no, yeah, we had the stuff, and there'd been a lot of build up to this, hadn't there? There'd been the stuff between Paige and Punk beforehand.
Yeah.
Paige calling Punk out when he knew he was busy, so Punk then did the same.
Yep.
And they'd been riling each other up when they should have just. Yes, it looked good on TV, and people are thinking, "Oh, what's going on?" But it was all building up to this sort of press conference, and poor Tony Khan, he looked like he would rather be anywhere else than
Yeah.
in that press conference. He looked like a rabbit in the headlights.
He did not want to be there, did he?
No, he looked incredibly uncomfortable. I know afterwards Chris Jericho was talking, and he was talking about trying to be more professional and stuff. And Tony Khan seemed quite pleased with having someone being calm and collected. But we
Yes.
had the punch up that happened backstage.
Wait, Kenny Omega got bit.
Yeah, although we don't know what happened there. There was apparently a dog running around. There was
There was a lot of stuff. As best way I
yeah,
can say
there's
it.
a lot of stuff, and we haven't learned the full extent of it, and I
No.
don't know if we ever
Will.
will.
Uh, sorry.
I think there's blame on both sides
Oh, absolutely.
for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Neither Punk nor the Elite are totally blameless. They both they've both added to this sort of highly combustible situation. Thankfully, the Elite got suspended for probably about 2 or 3 months. I think it ended up being,
Yep.
didn't it? And they're back now, thankfully. As to Punk, I don't think we'll see him in All Elite again. I think the situation's just gone beyond resolving now. And we'll have to, which is a shame, because he had a good sort of year-long run in All Elite.
Punk's
But
t-shirt sold out, didn't it? It was the highest selling t-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees, I think, ever.
yeah.
One thing that has come out recently is Dax Harwood did a podcast recently.
Mhm.
He set up his own podcast, which I'll be honest is a good listen. So please, if you get a chance, please listen, because you know it's a quite an interesting thing. And he basically says, he turns around, and I'm not going to quote it for full quote because it's a bit difficult. But basically he says, my plea to all four guys, which is Kenny Omega, the Elite, and Paige, I believe, yeah, it is. Basically says is that please make it work, because Punk is a leader. Regardless of what went off there, Punk's a great guy, and you could basically do Kenny Omega in the Bucks versus CM Punk and FTR.
Yeah, that would be an incredible match to see.
And he says the story, like, you can make something special out of this instance. If Punk loses, Punk loses. If the Bucks lose, they lose. You could make something out of this situation and make it this massive storyline and get people drawn in, because, oh my God, CM Punk's back on TV, And he basically said, my plea to all four guys is please work it out. Please try and do something to basically get Punk back on TV, because I'm sorry to say, and I will say it because I'm not part of either company, Punk is one of your, if not your biggest draw to AEW. Get him back on TV, get those views up, get those people back going, oh my God, Punk's back, But anyway, my top moment is actually from AEW to WWE. Quite literally, the return of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that was another spectacular moment at WrestleMania.
At WrestleMania. The match with Seth, don't get me wrong, is amazing. It is. It's literally the moment at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes entrance goes off and he pops up from underneath the entrance ramp.
Yeah, sort of the elevator thing.
Yeah, because it's the view where you just see him rise up. The fact that Cody Rhodes has come back to WWE after doing so much of AEW is massive.
And correct me if I'm wrong, he's the first person
to go from AEW to WWE. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many WWE.
I mean, that alone is a moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
considering all the WWE releases would have the
Yes.
prior year, people moving to AEW.
Yeah, literally, I mean, there's not much to say about this apart from Cody
Mhm.
Rhodes obviously being injured. And we can have a bit of Cody Rhodes soon, which we will get onto.
Mhm.
But just Cody Rhodes appearing at a WWE event, especially WrestleMania, coming back
Mhm.
is. And I will say, going on to WrestleMania, this year was genuinely one of the best WrestleManias ever.
Mhm. We were speaking about this the other day, weren't
Mm-hmm.
we? And we said that it's a surprise in a way because a lot of the WWE pay-per-views that Vince had been in charge of were pretty weak, but
Mm-hmm.
this WrestleMania was packed with great matches and great moments.
Yes. The only thing I've got to mention is there's quite a few bits on WrestleMania, which again we'll go between, won't we?
Mhm.
But also let's clarify that one thing: July 25th is when Triple H took over.
Mhm.
So some of these moments will be Vince related, some of these moments will be Triple H related.
Mhm.
And one thing I do want to say about this is disregard Vince or whatever's gone off. The guy in WWE, at least anyway, has revolutionized wrestling, whether you want to agree or not.
Mhm.
Without Vince, we would not have WrestleMania. We would not have WWE, realistically.
Mm.
Because he's took it to a place I don't think anyone else could ever take a company to.
Yeah.
So, disregard whatever Vince has done, because that's obviously none of my business. That's a lot of crap,
Mhm.
admitted. Talking business-wise, what Vince has done for WWE is massive, and I want people to remember some of your favourite moments from WrestleManias, the Undertaker streak, is
Mhm.
Vince. Vince and Stone Cold, that whole era, Attitude Era, was
Mhm.
Vince.
Well, you've got to also take into account Vince won the Monday Night Wars in the end,
Yes.
and he was up against Ted Turner, who had like a near em- bottomless pit of money. He was
Mm-hmm.
throwing at former WWF at the time stars and bringing them over to WCW, but he never did anything with them.
No.
And in the end, WCW crumbled, and Vince ended up buying them out. And yeah, that was like the first major wrestling war that there was,
Yeah.
apart from if we go back years and years to the territory wars. But
Yeah.
this was like the first major TV confrontation. So yeah, Vince has done some incredible stuff.
Yeah.
I think the big complaint though is recently has been too sort of enmeshed in what wrestling was like in the past, as
Yeah.
opposed to what people are more interested in seeing now.
I think we can both touch then. One of the other biggest
Mm.
moments is Vince retiring from WWE.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be a tie-in, but we can might as well make it a tie-in.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of the biggest moments is Vince retiring from WWE.
I
And
don't think any of us had it on our bingo
no,
card this year, did we? No.
I think we're safe to assume we reckon Vince was going to be in charge until he died. I think that was the
I'd have put
synopsis.
money on it.
Yeah.
I'd have, yeah.
Until his dying days, he would have been in charge of
Mhm.
WWE. And no, we obviously, again, since July 25th, Triple H has now been in charge of WWE.
Mm.
And social media wise, and again, this is a moment that I want to encapsulate, is Vince retiring set the whole world alight. Because,
Mm.
hold on a second, Vince McMahon has stepped down. Holy, again, shenanigans
Mhm.
around it, but the actual idea of Vince McMahon stepping down for WWE is probably one of the biggest moments of this year. It's in the
Mhm.
top three because, again, Vince stepping down from WWE. Vince has nothing to do with WWE since July.
Mm.
It's crazy to think because we still watch it every week. We do the Raw reviews, obviously, I do the SmackDown
Mhm.
reviews. You do not think for a second that, stuff like WWE being in charge of Triple H for the past 11 months, it doesn't
Mhm.
feel real, does it?
No, no, it is. It's just insane to think about. Like you said, I'd have thought Vince would be on his deathbed still bloody booking Brock Lesnar to win the WWE
Yes.
Championship or something like that. Some
Yes.
nonsense like that. Yeah.
So go for it. Yours now.
Right, and can we go back to Cody Rhodes again?
Of course we
Because
can. I know
yeah,
where you're going with this one.
it's the Hell in the Cell match,
Yes.
yet against Seth,
Yes.
and
I've got a picture actually right now that I'm looking at. Boy, it's
yeah,
gruesome.
I mean, a Hell in the Cell match is a brutal thing to be in. I call it one of the most brutal match types, if not the most brutal one to be in WWE. But the fact that this man went out there with a ruptured, what was it, some
It
sort
was a torn pectoral tendon.
torn pectoral tendon. His chest, before, bear in mind, this is before the match has even
Yep.
started. It looks atrocious, don't it? It looks like something you'd see on a
So,
movie, the way that
best way I can
is
put it to
injured.
everyone is I'll roll my sleeve up. Admittedly, you can't see this bit. Imagine this bit and all my arm here is all just bruised, black, red, purple, just all over. Like, think of it as Finn Balor's paint that he does, right? When he does his full demon gimmick, it looked like it was makeup, but no, it was a torn pectoral tendon. And yeah.
And the mat, because at one point there's Seth poking some sort of broken
It's the
kendo stick.
yeah, it's a broken. Or is it? It's the sled. Is it the top of the sledgehammer that he's trying to
It's
also
some-
mount in his shoulder?
Oh yeah.
It's horrible.
Oh, it made me. That made me really. No, I did not like that.
No.
But yeah, like we say, to go out there and work with that kind of injury, not in a normal match, in a Hell in a Cell match,
Yeah.
for I think it was about 25 minutes it lasted.
At
That
32, I believe, was the official time.
oh,
32.
that is a next level achievement to be
Yeah.
able to do that, because you think of the pain he must have been in for that entire match. I'd imagine even moving would have sent agony through your body with how that looked. But he went out there, performed for, like Rami says, 32 minutes. That is something else.
Yeah. And whilst we're on the subject of something else, my next moment is going back to Tony Khan, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him buying Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, gives me another reason to bring out the title. It's the only reason I did it.
RammyWooWoo Championship.
It's the only reason I did it.
That
yeah,
again.
It's the title. No. But honestly, this title belongs to Tony Khan. Well, actually, not this title. It's the silver title. But Tony Khan buying Ring of Honor, and has now recently actually announced that Ring of Honor is now getting its own show again. It's going on a certain streaming platform, and Tony Khan now owns Ring of Honor and AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Mental.
Yeah. We've talked about this in VC for quite a while, haven't we? They do need to sort of separate Ring of Honor and AEW a bit, because the amount of titles now that AEW have got.
Oh, you can add another title back if you want.
Yeah.
Enough for the title. I do apologise.
Yeah. But there's just so many titles on Dynamite and Rampage at the moment that they're not getting it. The titles don't feel so special.
Yeah.
So when we do have AEW and Ring of Honor, it's going to be like having AEW, Dynamite, and Ring of Honor is going to be Raw and SmackDown, isn't it?
Yes.
It's going to be like that. You can have some crossover between the two, but you're essentially going to have your two different brands.
Yes. They've also announced that there is a subscription-based Honor Club where Ring of Honor will begin presenting new weekly programming in 2023. But yes, the acquisition of Ring of Honor, and people forget, and it's why I love the title, and I'm not showing it, but the reason I love the title, one, it looks like a championship, but two, it represents people like Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Seth Rollins, Tyler Black, rather. People who made their names in Ring of Honor to become the wrestlers they are. Because Roman Reigns is homegrown, fine, fair enough. But John Moxley, Dean Ambrose, was not. Bryan Danielson, Ring of Honor. Samoa Joe, Ring of Honor. Seth Rollins, Tyler Black, Ring of Honor. CM Punk, El Generico, Kevin Steen, also known as Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, they're
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor alumni.
Now, they might be before Ring of Honor, but admittedly, I first got to know about all these from Ring of Honor. So, Ring of Honor being back, we obviously now have Cesaro as champion, Wheeler Yuta as the TV champ. I believe it's Athena, or better known as Ember Moon, is the women's champ. So, it's exciting times going forward. You know, Cesaro will be on AEW. But the whole moment is Tony Khan now has two wrestling companies underneath his name, and Ring of Honor being booked, because obviously Ring of Honor had to shut down due to COVID.
Yeah.
So the moment
they lost a lot of money, didn't they?
Yeah, the thing is, Ring of Honor is now revived thanks to Tony Khan, and that's the moment. I can actually get rid of this page now because it's done the 5 we need. So, Yours.
My next moment, we're going to go back to AW, but it's sort of WWE related,
Mm-hmm.
and it's another return, a return that a lot of people never thought we'd see, and that is Saraya / Paige back
Yes.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, I didn't. I'm surprised that she didn't return to WWE if she's fit to wrestle, which she appears to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But to see have her, it was definitely quite a shock. That I mean, we've talked before, haven't we? About we've got a wrestling spoiler section and the like that we see a lot of in one of the discords we're members of,
Yeah.
and we get a lot of stuff doesn't really come as a surprise to us anymore
Yeah.
in wrestling. But this just came out of nowhere,
Yeah.
didn't it? Um, Incredible. I was gobsmacked
Yeah.
when she came out.
And it was a good match. In all fairness, if you go back
Mhm.
to the match, it was an okay match. Britt Baker, safe wrestler to go against.
Mhm.
Dropped her head more times than I could count, and I was wincing. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paige Saraya is back wrestling
Mhm.
after breaking her back, the same as Edge.
Mhm.
And we all know Edge came back last year.
Yeah.
But again, having Edge wrestle, which honestly,
Mhm.
incredible.
I mean, she looked a little bit rusty, didn't she, Soraya?
I
But
mean, yeah.
she's not wrestled for a lot of 4, 5, 6 years, maybe.
You're talking 5 or 6 years, yeah. You got
Mhm.
to be.
But like you said, it's a decent enough match against Britt Baker, and obviously someone safe to work against.
Yeah.
And hopefully in the future, looking forward to seeing her wrestle a bit more,
Mm-hmm.
Saraya, especially once she gets the ring rust off and picks up to being hopefully getting back to where she was beforehand, because she was sort of one of the main driving forces of improving WWE's women's
Yes.
division
Yeah.
back in the
Mm-hmm.
mid noughties, mid teens, weren't
Yeah,
it?
it seems
She
because
did that.
she came up and beat AJ Lee on her first match and won
Mm,
the title, the Divas
yeah,
Championship. So Paige was a
and
massive influence. You had your Paige, Charlotte Flair, and Shasta Banks. In all fairness, with like your main
mhm,
three. Becky Lynch was in
yeah,
there at the time,
mhm.
at least anyway. But yeah, Paige and Charlotte Flair, I'd say, are the two that really started
Lifted
to
the
change that division
women's
around.
revolution, they called it,
Yeah,
didn't they? And I mean, WWE has got not like WWE, AEW has got some great women's talents on it. Jade Cargill is
yeah.
impressive. You've got Shida, you've got
Jimmy Hayter, Tony Storm,
Jamie Hayter, yeah,
Britt Baker, Saraya. Trying to think in my head now. There's one that's in my head and I just can't think of her name. Bless her.
mhm.
Athena, obviously Ember
Athena,
Moon.
yeah. hmm
Mercedes Martinez, realistically, she's still by Abaddon.
You've got Ty Conti and
Yeah.
the other one. Um,
Yeah, you've got
but the issue is with AEW, they've got all this talent. Ruby Soho, another one. They've got all this talent, but unfortunately, it all seems a bit aimless at the moment.
yeah.
The
There's
women don't
not.
get featured much.
Yeah,
Um, you can go weeks without seeing a women's championship on TV, um, be it the TBS or the women's world title, and they just don't. They're not putting as much effort into the women's division
yeah. As they
as they
could.
are the men's.
Yeah.
And if they did put the effort in, it'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
So hopefully, with Soraya there now, she'll give Tony Khan a boot up the arse
Oh, it's open
and
so.
get that sorted for 2023 onwards.
One of the
Your turn, matey.
Clash of the Castle.
Clash at the Castle. Yeah, that
And
was a
I'm
brilliant one.
not for matches. I'm looking at a match in my face, right? But it's not
hmm
It's not the match I'm on about. It's the first time WWE has held a pay per view or PLE, my bad, in the UK for 30 years.
Yeah,
And
last one was SummerSlam 1992, I believe,
yes,
wasn't it?
and lo and behold, the best selling PLE of the year was Clash at the Castle in the UK.
hmm
It got announced last week. It literally tops everything. Clash at the Castle in the UK, well, Cardiff, Wales, right?
hmm
Incredible. The crowd as we are UK, we are incredible. But
Mm-hmm.
it's the decision to go back to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big moment because, again, 30 years we've waited to get a pay-per-view here. You know, we've had, obviously, your shows, you have your live tours. I'm going to
We
one
had
next
the
year, probably.
Rebellion and Insurrection as well,
Yes.
but they were just like minor thing. They weren't like a proper pay-per-view, really, were they?
So I've told myself, at least in a way, I'm going to go to a live show 2023. I've
Mm-hmm.
not been to one, so I need to go to one. But that's a live show. It happened. So the fact we got a live pay-per-view, and I'm going to call it pay-per-view, sorry, I don't care. A live pay-per-view at Clash of the Castle. Bear in mind, the start time is the same as when I watch it. It's not 1 a.m. in the morning for me to go watch it.
No.
You know, it's on early enough so the people in America can watch it, and we can also watch it as well. And
Mm-hmm.
let me tell you something now. It was... we had Roman, and we're going to go through some matches on this card. We had Roman versus Drew McIntyre with Solo Sikoa.
Yeah. His big sort of appearance into out of NXT and into the big leagues of WWE, I suppose.
And bearing in mind, this show only had 6 matches.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they were all cracking, weren't they?
Yeah. We had Riddle versus Rollins 1. Dominic betraying Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, and the pop that Edge got when he came out by that crowd,
Yeah.
everyone was singing the Alter Bridge song, weren't they?
Yeah, it's brilliant. So Dominic betrays Rey Mysterio. We have, obviously, Gunther and Sheamus. The banger, which is one of the next moments I will come on to. The match of Gunther and Sheamus. But just before that, like, Gunther Sheamus, again, Dominic betraying Rey, Riddle and Rollins, Roman and Drew McIntyre. Pretty sure we had Bianca Bailey on that card as well.
It was either Bianca Bailey or it was Bianca, Oscar, and Alexa.
It was the tag match.
Damage
It was
Control.
the tag match. Yes, it was. It was Bailey and Damage Control versus Asuka, Alexa, and Bianca. Because Bianca lost. Yeah, that's where the first pinfall
all
came from.
rolled out. Yeah, they all pinned it. Double pinfall or something. Yeah.
And yeah, like I can't think what else was on there. I'm pretty sure we went through this. I can't exactly remember. But basically, that's 5 out of 6. But Clash of the Castle.
Clash of the Castle, first full pay-per-view that Triple H was in charge of.
Yes,
as well.
This was the first pay-per-view. Because SummerSlam was done by Vince, regardless of the fact Triple H took over before SummerSlam.
Yeah, we talked about it, hadn't we? I think it was only a couple of days beforehand. And while Triple H probably added some stuff like the return of Damage Control.
Another great moment.
There was no way they were going to completely rebook what was happening on a major pay-per-view like SummerSlam with 3 days to go. It's not going to happen.
No. So, yeah, we'll go on to the match. So, again, this card had many good matches. But my match of the year, which I'll state now, is Gunther Sheamus on this card. I have a few other matches I like, don't get me wrong, but this for me is match of the year. Sheamus and Gunther tore the house down. And it's not necessarily a moment, it's the match, but it's the moment of the Intercontinental Championship feeling important again. Gunther's done such a good job, and it does feel important. But yeah, my moment is the Clash of the Castle UK pay-per-view for the first time in 30 years.
Yeah, that's amazing that we finally got one again.
So,
I think Drew Galloway was also...
Drew Galloway, yeah? Not McIntyre.
Drew Galloway, McIntyre. Going back a bit there. But I think he was...
Drew Galloway was before Drew McIntyre. Drew Galloway was when he went on the Indies, before he came back as Drew McIntyre.
Right, and my next major moment, let's have a look through my list. What have we got? Well, I'm going to go for a return again.
Oh, here we go.
And this one I know is going to be probably your favourite return of the year. Because we've never had a return like it before, and it is the White Rabbit, Bray Wyatt.
I was scared you were going to say something else there.
No.
I thought you was going almost Ronda direction. I was about to
No.
Yes, Bray Wyatt.
We had everything with this. We had QR codes. We had little mini games. We had puzzles. we were 95% sure it was going to be Bray all
Yeah.
along, but we were never 100%. There was things like sending us the research he'd done on this and how it tied into his Twitter account and all this stuff with Dante's Inferno, and
Yeah.
it was the detail this guy goes into building a character and a mythology around things is something else. And because it all started, I remember, it started at a house show, and there was WWE didn't even televise any of it. There was some videos going around on YouTube of recorded during a house show, and it was like in a break, all of a sudden the lighting all goes red, and the song starts playing, and this lasted for about 45 seconds. And everyone, this is the first time it's happened. They've all got their phones out and they're holding them up like that. The entire crowd are doing this, and then the red lighting goes away, the song ends, and it's not mentioned, and it's the whole thing just built from an online following. It's just the way they went. This wouldn't have happened under Vince.
No.
He wouldn't have thought to market a return or anything in this way. And it just snowballed, and people are going, what is this White Rabbit? It was something else.
I think for me, the moment itself is me and Saul are watching Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
We are watching the Fight Pit match with Riddle and Rollins.
Mm-hmm. That was an awesome match as well.
And stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, Bray's music, the Code Orange Shatter, which was nice. And Joe, what? One of the other top moments is that song being released on Brody's birthday. Lovely touch. But here we get Bray Wyatt. And the moment that it sunk in, I think for me and Saul, is he went down to the ring. I've got goosebumps actually talk about it. We went down to the ring. Me and Saul did not say a word. We sat there and just watched. You know, how we talk like this is how we talk during the pay-per-views. You know,
we were silent, weren't we?
There was nothing from us. You know, we literally would be talking about the match, going, "Oh, that spot, all this," and we'd comment on the match as it goes. We'd actually live react to it as it went. But with this Bray, we were both silent. Our mics were on, you know, but we just sat in awe, listening to what Bray had to say. And it was one of the most spectacular, eerie moments because it's like, what version of Bray are we getting? And Bray was real. Like the first time, again in the promo, Bray goes, "It's me, Bray Wyatt. I'm actually talking to you as Bray Wyatt," and it felt wholesome because he actually couldn't talk a lot of the time. He had tears in his eyes and he was just struggling to keep it in because the crowd was "Welcome back" and all these chants, and Bray is taking it all in. And he's like, "Thank you." And it was actually a moment of pure Bray, and not what we've had since, but pure Bray going, "I'm alive because of you guys, basically. I went down a dark path and you brought me back. So thank you to everyone watching, the crowd, the people at home." He basically was real life Bray. Wyndham Rotunda is what he was. He was officially Wyndham Rotunda on that day.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful because nobody captivates an audience like Bray Wyatt.
No, you could just sit there and listen to him talk for
You could. Yeah.
hours and you wouldn't get bored. You'd just be engrossed in what he's saying.
The I always say I could listen to Triple H talk all day about the matches and all that he's been in. I could listen to The Undertaker talk all day, which I'll get onto in a minute. But this moment of Bray Wyatt coming back, the first time since he got released. In all fairness, he got released, remember? The people are, whoa. He comes back and slots straight back into SmackDown, and everybody loves him. He is still to this day, people love him. The character's we're trying to figure out the character still, but again, that's the intrigue of Bray.
Yeah, you're not 100% sure what's going on.
Bray's never going to be a complete story, and that's what I love about Bray. There's always going to be something about him that gives me what's happening next. There's always something about Bray that brings you back. And also, every theme song Bray's had has been a banger. Every theme song. He's always had a theme song that suits Bray. that
Mhm.
literally goes, "Oh, just to let you know, Bray freaking Wyatt is here." You know, and that moves me on to another moment with an airy persona: the Undertaker's Hall of Fame speech.
Mhm.
This, I mean, I watched it the night before we did Modmania, so I already knew, and I teared up.
Mhm.
I already watched this, and admittedly, we tried to watch it at Modmania, but some dickhead decided to keep talking.
Mm.
So there's that. But I watched this, and I sat there, and Undertaker finally broke character.
Mm. Which
After
is
he
something else, yeah.
he never broke character, did he?
No.
He was professional to the day he stopped wrestling.
Mhm.
And he finally accepted the social media. He finally accepted being himself, being Mark Galloway,
Mhm.
which is beautiful because again, this Hall of Fame speech, this speaking to Kane and Big Boss, not Big Boss, sorry, Godfather,
Mhm.
and talking about the late stories about who he used to wrestle with, and
Mm.
talking about Steph and Vince, and just being, it was Mark Galloway and not the
Mhm.
Undertaker, and it's the moment of crap. The Undertaker's done. You say he's
Yeah.
done. The Hall of Fame should be when you finish. Goldberg clearly
Mhm.
does not care.
No.
You know. But the point
Mhm.
is that this is where Undertaker went, I'm done. He
Yeah.
had his match a year before with AJ Styles
Mhm.
during
I
COVID as well.
don't need to do it. To be fair, he's put 30 years into that character.
And every time it's just been even. I mean, he's reinvented himself. Obviously,
Yeah.
we had the Ministry
Mm.
of Darkness. We then had
With
the
American
biker take. Yeah,
Badass.
American
Yeah.
Badass. We had Takers we know trying to sacrifice Stone Cold.
Mhm.
And that's always an option if you feel like it. Um, but this, yeah, the Undertaker Hall of Fame speech was something you'll never see again. By someone, mind you, may I add, that literally the whole locker room loves him. I can't think of one person that genuinely
No,
doesn't like him.
I have a bad thing to say about him.
He's
No.
still doing his Dead Man shows, which is I've
Mhm.
seen some of the clips and they are brilliant. Um, but yeah, the Undertaker hanging up his boots after the AJ Styles match, and the
Mhm.
thing as well is coming out of COVID. Last year he had to wrestle with no one around. We had to do the cinematic
Mm.
match. This year he finally got to stand in front of the crowd and everybody
Mhm.
there. And again, this is a testament to the person of the Undertaker, Mark Calloway. When Mean Soul was on about Mean Soul shutting up for Bray,
Mm.
everyone in that crowd, and bear in mind there's a lot of them, was
Mhm.
silent. The biggest show of respect is silence when it comes to someone talking. Obviously, you give reactions, but if Undertaker's talking, not a peep.
Mhm.
Apart from like, oh, you deserve it and stuff like that. When
Yeah.
Undertaker started talking, nobody interrupted. Everybody just listened,
Mhm.
and everybody just wanted to hear what he had to say. And obviously, we got the Never Say Never, which I
Mhm.
hope it's never. As much as I
Mhm.
love the Undertaker, I hope it's never for a match.
I
But
yeah, I think he has ended at the right point for me. He's ended on a massive high, that
yes,
AJ Styles match. And yes, I'm sure he could go on, but it's going to be pushing it to keep going as strong as he has for 30 years.
yeah,
And I think he could carry on, but the quality will eventually start to go down. And
yeah,
that's nothing against him. It's just a fact of age
Sage,
and
yeah,
that. Um, but at the moment, he's ended so strong. I think he's probably ended with the strongest career overall over those 30 years
I
of
think
any
as
wrestler.
well, it's retiring on your own terms, which
Yes,
in
exactly.
wrestling, I believe at least anyway, you do not get that.
No,
You
you
do
get
not get to retire
so
on your
many
terms.
injuries.
Yeah, you may want to think this is your retirement. You don't get it.
Hmm.
Undertaker put a hell of a bang of a match with AJ Styles, which is a 5-star match, may I add, by
Hmm.
Meltzer and whatnot, which whatever Meltzer is, but it's up there. And he got with this Hall of Fame speech in front of a crowd.
Hmm.
He ended his Undertaker career, as you said, in the strongest way possible. And he ended it on his terms.
Hmm.
That's all you can ever ask for from a way to retire is your terms. Because you look at people such as Bret Hart,
Hmm.
Goldberg
He,
admitted he had to
he,
retire.
yeah, he got injured, then had a stroke, and then that was it for his career. He came back, but when he came back, he
He was
wasn't a
never,
mere shadow of
yeah,
the ability he had in the 90s. It
In
was
wrestling, be able to retire on your own terms is a 1 in a lifetime chance. And I'm very happy that Undertaker got to retire on his terms.
Yeah.
Because
I
never
mean, this
turning
is the
out like
thing,
Big
like
E.
this is the thing, like you say about you hope it's never. Say he comes back to do a few matches and then gets badly injured in one. It just wouldn't look good. Yeah,
No.
it's spoil your memory of him. The way he's finished now is, for me, it's perfect
Yeah.
because he's had one of the greatest careers in wrestling.
If not the greatest.
Yeah.
It's up for debate. I mean, personally, it's my greatest career. If I was to pick, Undertaker's my favourite. I mean, I have my favourites in there, but Undertaker, career, everything about Undertaker is just, he's the pinnacle of wrestling for me. And you can disagree with me, and I'm more than happy for you to disagree. If you think people like Ric Flair, Rock, whatever, I'm not going to disagree with any of you. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, The Undertaker's had the best in-ring wrestling career out of anyone.
Longevity as well.
The
You think
longevity,
30 years without any major injuries that
being
have
able
ruled
to
him out
reinvent himself again from the Undertaker when he came with the purple gloves to the Ministry of Darkness, the American Badass, the Undertaker we see, the trilogy that we had, the Holy Trinity, what you call it, which is the Badass, Undertaker, and the Ministry of Darkness all into one for the last match against AJ. So yeah, for me, that there is one of the best moments of the year. It's an upsetting moment because Undertaker's kind of retired, but it's a great moment because, again, we got to witness Undertaker being Mark Calloway, the guy behind The Undertaker, which is far and few between.
And it was good that he actually got to do that. It was in front of a live audience and everything, and not having to do it during COVID when things are a bit.
That was one of the biggest things, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, you next.
We're gonna be making a bit of a. It's still WWE, but it's NXT we're going to look at now, and it's something that was quite recent, and it's a new match type that me and you both weren't sure about to start with, but it was the Iron Survivor matches on NXT that we had. Was it Deadline?
NXT Deadline.
Yes, the two Iron Survivor matches, both the women's match and the men's match, and they were phenomenal, weren't they? We loved them.
Excuse me a second, sorry. I'm just trying to pull up my other spreadsheet. What I've got. So yes, NXT Deadline. Right. Iron Survivor. It, in retrospect, was a weird concept to start with.
Yeah, because me and you were sitting there, weren't we, when we were watching it, and we didn't have a clue how the rules really worked with like these penalty boxes and all this, that, and the other, and how people were coming out like every 2 minutes and how it was all going to work. But once we actually saw the matches, they just blew our minds. The whole sort of, if you get you pin someone, they go in the penalty box, so they're out of commission essentially for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. The scramble to get pinfalls, it was just crazy. And the rest, they had obviously, bar the champions at the time, who were Mandy Rose and Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
They had the 5 best women and the 5 best men in NXT competing. And both matches were complete bangers. We saw some Roxanne Perez, who went on to win the women's one. She was incredible throughout. The stuff with her and Cora Jade in that match was phenomenal. They were just great. If you haven't seen them yet, you've definitely got to go and try and watch them both, because the stuff. Joe Gacy, despite whatever you think about him, his talent in that men's match was incredible. He's a big guy, and he was doing flips and stuff like a cruiserweight in there. He kind of reminded me of Pac a bit, the way Pac flies about, considering his size.
And if you don't know Pac, the bastard Pac, Neville in WWE.
I mean, just both these matches turned out to be excellent. We got Roxanne Perez winning and going on to even better things.
Yes, NXT Women's Champ right now.
Yeah, and we've got Grayson Waller, who won the
that is going to be so funny going into, because he, like I say, he gets an opportunity against Bron Breakker whenever he may take that opportunity. We don't know. But yeah, to go back on the actual event of the Iron Survivor, here's a little thing for you, right? The year's 2022, and you think to yourself, how can you one-up a wrestling event? How can you, because bear in mind, War Games got moved to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So NXT is like, well, we need something, and we need something quick. It took them 2 weeks to come up with the Iron Survivor, and let me tell you, as like what Saul said, it works. It's a damn good stipulation. It's a very good technical as well, because you've got to play it smart. You've got to be a bit smart about who you pin and what. There's a lot of stuff you can do within this. Grayson Waller started running around at the end of Iron Survivor to not get pinned.
He realised he had a minute left and thought, right, I'm just going to run around like a lunatic for a minute.
There's me thinking he's going to get caught, but he doesn't, and it's brilliant. And also, surprise, I actually didn't think it would be Grayson Waller that would win, but happy to be wrong.
I thought it was going to be Hayes or Gacy that was going to win, but no, it's Grayson Waller.
So, I'm going to use 2 moments here, because it kind of goes on the same. WrestleMania. First of all, Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
I mean, what a match.
Admittedly, I'll be the first person to admit that before that match,
you did not care, did you?
I didn't particularly care. I didn't think it was going to be a Omos match, as in quality of being that bad, but I didn't think it was going to be anything spectacular, if I'm honest.
Hello,
but then
boy.
when I watched it, I'm like, okay, I was wrong here.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Sami Zayn, I mean, well, let's talk about Sami Zayn for a second, shall we? And we'll cut a couple in. Firstly, honorary use. The story with the bloodline, the Survivor Series, Jey Uso and him, embracing. Sami Zayn's had a year and a half. Well, a year, rather, not a year and a half. But he's had a great year, and it's only going to get better. So he deserves everything he's got. And you've got to bear in mind, these 2 matches, right? Sami Zayn and John Knoxville, and the second, Kevin Owens and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Before I get there, you've got to remember that at this point, Sami and Kevin only had a year left on their contract, and they was going to walk out. And they got given new contracts, and they accepted, and this is the reward they're getting. Deserved, let me say. But the 2 moments here, Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. Johnny Knoxville wins as well, man, I had. What a match. This match genuinely was quality. It was funny, it was goofy, it didn't have to be serious, and that's great. You don't have to be serious about your matches. Everyone was entertained. We all sat there at Mod Mania going, oh my god, look at these moments, being kicked in the dick, basically, by all these different assortments. Again, he's from Jackass, right? Just, this match was incredible, and Sami Zayn was a perfect person to be in this match.
Yeah. It wouldn't have worked so well against a Roman Reigns or someone like that, would it? But against someone like Sami Zayn, it was perfect.
And then we go on to Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. Let me rephrase. Stone Cold Steve Austin had a match in 2022.
Yeah. It's been a year for people we never thought we'd see wrestle again come back.
Yeah, we saw Stone Cold Steve Austin take back bumps, may I add. Take suplexes onto concrete.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold deservedly won. And also we have the bit of honourable mention, Pat McAfee. Honourable mention. Not quite moment of the year, but honourable mention, Pat McAfee's just a person in general. But we had Pat being Stone Cold stunned. He's on the outside with literally just pouring beer into his mouth after being stunned. He's like, oh, brilliant visual. But this moment of having Stone Cold Steve Austin come back, the first time in however many years it's been, incredible. Yeah. And again, Money B said it himself, a childhood hero. Stone Cold is one of my childhood wrestlers growing up. And to see him back wrestling was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, 2 moments in one there, which happened on WrestleMania, but my word.
They were
Yeah.
incredible moments, weren't they?
You got anything else?
I did have something in my head just now, but my age is getting the better of me. Um,
Guys, he's only 26.
oh yeah. This is the uh, Crown Jewel, which you'd never thought you'd have a moment from Crown Jewel on the most memorable moments. Logan Paul versus Roman
Yeah.
Reigns.
Yeah.
And one specific spot in this match is Logan Paul taking the selfie as he gets on the top rope and then does the splash to the outside on Roman Reigns while the set he's got the camera rolling. This we've talked about how Austin Theory is great that he's got rid of the camera and the selfie thing, but Logan Paul, he can do it and he can do it bloody
Yeah.
well. That visual of him with the camera talking to it, jumping off the ropes and splashing Roman on the outside was amazing.
The most viewed WWE YouTube
Clip, I think, wasn't it?
clip of all time right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you can understand why.
Yeah,
I mean,
visually it was incredible just seeing it, and it that was like my highlight of the match. But Logan Paul, people who didn't think he'd have what it takes to be a wrestler, he's proved everyone wrong because he went for it.
the buckshot lariat that Logan does to Roman in that match. That's one of my top moments from that match, is that buckshot lariat. We'll get on to like best wrestler and all this like a little bit very soon. But yeah, Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns.
Admittedly, when we first saw that it had been announced, we were a bit like, well, Logan Paul's obviously not going to win, and all this, that, and the one lucky shot thing was annoying us a bit, wasn't it?
I don't want to ever go back there, ever.
But the actual match itself, it was bloody impressive considering it was his third WWE match, Logan Paul.
Yes, because he was against Rey Mysterio and Dominic at WrestleMania
with the Miz.
Yeah. SummerSlam was Miz versus Logan Paul. And from Crown Jewel is Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. And yes, people go, oh, well, he didn't deserve it. After that match, he deserved to be in matches like that. He showed you why he takes WWE seriously. He's got a ruptured ACL, MCL. He's bloody injured right now for like 7 months.
Yeah.
That's the risk you take. That is the risk you take.
Next year, I predict he's going to win a mid-card title.
I honestly I think Austin Theory and Logan Paul should have a match.
Yeah, that would be bloody...
Maybe not Battle of the Selfies, because I will go and throw my whole computer down a river. But in general, Logan Paul should go for a mid-card title.
Yeah.
United States, I think, is the one should go for. As it's reaching the hour mark, we're going to do some honourable mentions. Stuff that obviously should be in there, but I'm sorry. That's a lot. So honourable mentions for me: Damage Control come back at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The Seth versus Austin Theory match recently. The one I get 5 out of 5 for on the Raw review. Roman Reigns versus Riddle on SmackDown for his title.
Yeah.
If you got any,
got the Usos eclipsing the tag team title. Run. We've got the Halloween Havoc 5-man ladder match for the North American title. That was one hell of a match to see. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it, because that was bloody brutal to watch. The Digger.
Roman Reigns,
lifting the ring with the Digger.
Out the debut of Solo Sikoa.
Solo Sikoa, yeah.
There's one I chuck out there. Again, Sasha Banks and Naomi walking on WWE.
Yeah, another big thing. Seems like she's heading to New Japan now.
Yeah.
But we still don't. She's still listed as being active on WWE. So
we've got a moment coming up. We've got John Cena appearing on SmackDown.
Yeah, this Friday.
Friday, yeah.
Cena Owens versus
Sammy and Roman.
Sammy and Roman, yeah.
Some other again honorable mentions. Go to, and these are matches, mind you. But the Edge versus Finn I Quit match, which
Yes,
ended
that
up with
was.
Beth Phoenix getting Concerto. He wasn't going to quit
Mhm.
for himself, and this is a storytelling moment. Because Rhea's going to Concerto Beth, and he's like, "No, I quit, I quit, I quit. Don't do it, please don't do it." And Rhea,
And Maria
being the
still does
bitch that
it.
she is, the
Still.
great bitch, just completely whacks her with a Concerto.
Mhm.
And oh my god! But that is how you storytell. That is something that's
Yeah.
missing from this day and age. So
Mhm.
again, a great moment in a wrestling match, storyline
Mhm.
wise. And the only other really, and again, there's going to be a lot, right? I don't deal
Mhm.
with Impact a lot,
No.
so there's not a lot of moments that come out of Impact for me.
That's one thing I'm going to try and get into a bit more in 2023. I'm going to
Yes,
try and catch up on
yeah,
the Impact shows, because Impact, it's not a big company in relation to AEW or WWE, but they do have some good matches on there, and they've got some good up and coming
yes.
stars as well. So
Um,
I'll try and at least catch 1 or 2 episodes a month.
FTR Briscoe's dog collar match.
Yeah, that's another one.
I mean, it's a great match. It's maybe not a moment, but it's a match.
Mhm.
The only other,
FTR in general this
yes,
year,
FTR in general has been amazing.
I'd say that they've. I mean, I know we'll get onto like our stars of the
Yes,
year, whatever, but I think hands down, FTR tag team of the year
yeah.
easily.
My final notable mention for moment of the year
Hmm.
probably goes to, I'd say, another. My moment of the year, I'll be honest, is Austin Theory losing that damn Money in the Bank.
Hmm.
And people are like, what? Listen, that revitalized that man's career. That for
It
me is a
was.
moment that was shit, admitted, but it worked
Mhm.
for all the right reasons. That is one of the best moments for Austin Theory's career.
Short term, it didn't look great.
Now,
Long term, it since he has lost that title, he's just gone from strength to strength, hasn't he?
yeah,
He's not looked back. We had people in the wrestling Discord that we were talking about earlier that at the time they were all complaining about how bad it was that he lost this thing. But if he hadn't lost it, if he'd still been carrying that briefcase around now, he wouldn't have ended this year as strong as he has. He's just gone next level with
and the best
since
way to
losing the
put it,
briefcase.
as I hold up this title because Saul knows what's coming next. Ain't no down, kid. Ain't no down, kid.
Gonna be a good
Genuinely,
year for him next year.
yeah. And we'll go on to again to wrestlers and matches and stuff like that in a second. But him losing that Money in the Bank generally is one of the best moments for a very talented and, from what I can understand, a very likable person. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
apparently he's had his moments. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but he's grown up a lot, and I think
Yeah,
that's a
he's
lot to
generally,
show.
from what I've read, he seems quite well liked now
Yes,
backstage.
he's cleaned up his act. Thankfully, he's not
Mhm.
done a stupid. And yeah, I think one of the other honorable mentions, the Blackpool Combat Club, William Regal.
Yeah, he
MJF
did.
being champion,
Mhm.
Moxley not going on vacation to keep
Mhm.
AEW going is a moment.
Mhm.
Swerve and our glory, hell, and we're gonna go again. I'm gonna go past this, but one last one, literally, is the Acclaimed, which we're gonna move
Mhm.
on to. So we're gonna move on to brands and the
Mhm.
best wrestlers, and kind of you'll see as it goes about. Basically, um, WWE we'll start with. We'll start with Raw.
Mhm.
The best male Raw wrestler for you this year.
Right. And
Yeah.
overall, in an overall sense, Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just he doesn't disappoint. He always performs. He's great at being a heel. He's great at having the crowd behind him. And this year, especially since they've lost the championship, Seth first took over with the US championship. He sort of made it feel important,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, for the stuff he did with Cody at the start of the year. He had the arguments with Kevin Owens at the beginning of the year as well, where he tried
Yeah.
to
Still
take
Stone Cold,
Kevin's
yeah.
WrestleMania spot. For me, Seth is a amazing performer, and yeah, for the Raw category, he'd win my Wrestler of the Year.
All the stars. It's Seth. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's people in there, and I'm gonna use someone for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But the best Raw wrestler of the year is Seth Rollins, the male wrestler. It's Seth
Mm-hmm.
Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way I'm gonna do it is we're gonna have two best wrestlers, are the two best male and female, and the two most improved male and female.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna do it. Because you can have tag teams and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the best tag team is probably the Usos. I think that's about it, really. So what we'll do is the best male and female, the two most improved male and female, and basically the best moment from each brand.
Okay.
If we've got one, if not, whatever. So I think we're both in agreement. It's Seth.
Seth for the Raw, yeah.
I'm gonna say Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Best Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah. I know people don't like her because of some of the Money B don't like her because of the way she is portrayed.
Yeah.
But she's got power. She's got agility. She can cut a decent promo, and the way she's held herself being a champion, she's just been incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she had the battles at the start with Becky trying to get back at. She was part of a decent storyline between her and Becky that went on from one SummerSlam. It started SummerSlam last year where Becky came back and won the title in like 30 seconds, and they carried on that storyline, long-term storytelling, for a year for it to come to an end at SummerSlam this year.
Yeah.
And then they ended up sort of joining forces up once Becky was back from her injury. So yeah, Bianca Belair for me for the best women.
Most improved male wrestler from Raw.
Again, we're probably gonna have the same one from this, and this is literally. Oh, actually, this is a bloody hard one because there's two that I've got. Right, I'm gonna base mine purely on then again, it's about the similar time since they came into their own. Right, I've got two.
Okay.
Austin Theory.
Okay.
And Dom Mysterio.
Okay, I didn't think about Dom, and you can kind of guess who mine was. Mine's Austin Theory, but Dom is a very notable. For me, you can go Dom if you want to have both from there, because it's not a not a versus. It's this is our joint kind of opinion. So, Dom and Theory.
Yeah, the thing is, right, with these guys, they had okay careers up until certain points.
Yeah.
Dom turning on Ray and joining the Judgment Days improved him.
He's the most hated person on that roster.
Yeah, he's got so much hate now. I mean, I'd say he's more hated than Austin Theory.
Latino heat.
Yeah.
No.
And
you're right.
And like we've said with Theory, the moment he lost that briefcase, he was good beforehand. Don't get me wrong, but losing that briefcase has just elevated him. Not just one level; it's up to him about 10 levels.
And people might disagree with me here now. I'm okay with again disagreement, but Theory genuinely gives me heel Cena vibes. If he was ever heel, he looks, and don't take this in a looks way, but the way he's built, he looks like Cena. He's got the physique of John Cena. You know, his promos are great, definitely getting better, and he just gives me this big. He could be a heel for God knows how long, and he could be one of the best heels in the company. You know, as he grows a bit older and comes into his, own a bit more, he definitely gives me some Randy Orton vibes where he's a bit young and has to find his feet.
Yeah.
But again, having this Money in the Bank, I mean, I'll go back to WrestleMania. The match against Pat McAfee was quite good. People forget that match. You know, and yes, obviously the Money in the Bank was Vince, it's okay. But again, this is going back to certain Roman Reigns. Stop pushing people down our neck and literally let them naturally grow. You tried to push Theory down our neck and we rejected the idea. People now love Theory, including myself. I'm one of the biggest Theory supporters. I think he's amazing. All because he's been allowed to be himself. He's not been pushed down people's throats. He's lost the Money in the Bank. Oh yeah, we went after US title. Nobody's gone after US title. You know, so it's literally a case of that for me, Austin Theory wise at least anyway, He's had a career revitalization. I can't say the word. Basically, he's revitalized his career because he's lost the Money in the Bank. It's made him tick. Storyline wise, nobody's complaining about him. People look at him and go, he's a great wrestler, he's a great promo. This have the US title. He's making the title, in all fairness, and Seth is after it. You know, he's had a great promo against Seth recently. And then going on to Dom, since joining the Judgment Day, Dom has leapt boundaries. We look at the match with The Miz and Logan Paul this year. He was bland. There was nothing to Dom. There was literally nothing. He was just Rey Mysterio's son. And
he had no personality, did he? No.
Now he's joined the Judgment Day. I want to slap him silly. That's the reaction you want.
I genuinely hate him now.
He's a brat, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the person, Dom Mysterio.
I love the fact that I hate him now. I think that's brilliant that it's done that.
Yeah.
But whenever he's on TV, I just want to see him get pummeled.
Yeah. And that's what you want. And it works. Most improved female wrestler of Raw. I'll give mine Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Amazing wrestler
anyway.
But again, joining the Judgment Day, it's just giving her that extra bit of, not personality, but just extra bit of edge, an extra layer to the character of Rhea Ripley. She's a badass anyway, we know, but now she's got this kind of mammy and slave kind of thing going on with Dom. You know, she's got this layer. I think just in general, Rhea Ripley's had bangers of matches this year anyway, but she's improved from being kind of just Rhea Ripley to, she's been power slamming Luke Gallows for the fun of it.
Yeah, that was an impressive sight to see.
For me,
what was his face? Old Japanese guy.
Akira Tozawa.
Beat him, didn't
Then he loved that when he got pinned. Lucky bugger. But yeah, so for me, it's Rhea Ripley, and I think more than that, you'll probably be.
I'd say Rhea Ripley, but I'm also going to throw a tag team in.
Okay, Alpha Academy.
No.
Oh.
Because this is women, remember?
Oh, why don't I go Alpha Academy? Yeah,
I don't know. Well, yeah. Gable's a bit of a woman sometimes. No, I'm going Damage Control.
Yeah, to be fair.
Dakota Kai and Io Sky. Yeah, they've been great since they've come back. They were always good in NXT with the stuff they did there, but I've just really enjoyed watching them.
Yeah. Really.
Dakota Kai especially, she's
amazing.
She comes across as absolutely bonkers. But yeah.
So, in that case, SmackDown time, right? And I don't think I have to put a thingy here of male superstar of the year.
No.
It's Roman Reigns.
Yeah, easily Roman Reigns.
Honestly, not going to talk about him because we know what we're on about. It is. It's Roman Reigns. It just is.
Yeah.
Female superstar of the year for SmackDown is
difficult. Easy as well.
Really?
Yep. Really.
Who is it?
Liv Morgan.
See, I'd go for improved. I'd go for improved on Liv.
Oh yeah, you could do that, couldn't you?
But I have a way I'm going to go with this, and I'll explain. So, I'll agree with you that the best women's wrestler of SmackDown is Liv Morgan, by a shadow of a doubt.
See, to me, the SmackDown women's division is a lot weaker.
It's
a hell of a weak. We talk about like the Raw men's division is struggling without a title, and that's what's made them Raw. But the women's division in Raw is incredible with the talent you've got. You've got your Rhea Ripley, you've got Alexa, you've got Asuka, you've got Bianca, you've got Damage Control coming up now. You've got Candice LeRae. You've got so many incredible women in that Raw women's division, and then you look at SmackDown's women's division. You've got Shotzi. You've got is a decent one. You've got Liv.
Raquel.
You've got
Rodriguez.
Shayna.
Yeah.
Raquel's coming up. Yeah. But then you've got.
Don't talk about it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
I'm gonna have to say it.
No,
mate.
We know what we're on about. We're on about Double R.
Yeah, Double R.
That's how I'm leaving it. I ain't going no further.
And she's the champion at the moment.
Not doing
which is just ridiculous, isn't it?
So, before going to SmackDown, with so Liv and Roman. Now then, I have two for the most improved male superstar. Gunther and Ricochet.
I definitely agree with Gunther. Yeah, definitely agree with Gunther.
Yeah, I think Ricochet on the Triple H has done wonders, but Gunther in general is just the Intercontinental feels like a top title.
Yeah.
It really does, you know. Sheamus was on the contender for Wrestler of the Year. Not improved because, look, the guy definitely is improved, but he's just brilliant anyway. He always has been. But I think Gunther for me is the male improved of the year.
I've got another one for this as well.
Okay.
Karrion Kross. And it's not that because of the way he was first used.
He had a
the
freaking mask
bondage
on.
gimp.
I mean, if you're into
gimmick,
that, then, you know.
Yeah, but when he first came up from NXT onto WWE, he was used appallingly.
That's Vince.
Absolutely ridiculous. He was like super dominant in NXT. Comes up, Jeff Hardy beats him. And there's nothing against Jeff.
No, you should not have ever had that happen. This Karrion Kross with Scarlett especially.
Yeah, since he's got Scarlett back, it's really...
That's a package that needs to keep at the... You know, it needs to stay.
But yeah, I'd agree. Gunther, and for me, a close second would be this incarnation of Karrion Kross.
Yeah. So, most improved women's wrestler. Now, I've got two. And I hope you're ready for this. My first one is generally going to be Shotzi.
Shotzi, yeah. She was probably quite... It was her, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Gonzalez.
Yes.
Were my top three women.
It's going to be Ronda Rousey. An improvement on me hating her so much fucking more. She constantly improves how shit she is. And I'm going to be nasty about it. Ronda Rousey is not a good champion. She is not a good wrestler. She needs to train. Do not fire her, but she needs to get better. She needs to be pulled.
Yeah.
Her name should not suffice enough. She is not good in the ring. She is not a good promo. Shayna has literally had to come in and be her Paul Heyman.
Yeah. And Shayna, I don't think Shayna gets the respect she deserves.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
Notable mentions, obviously, are Sami Zayn for improved, but let's be honest here, Sami Zayn's been proven all along. If you're talking genuine Superstar of the Year, Sami and Roman could go for it, but Roman is the Superstar of the Year, I think, no doubt.
I mean, it's just been dominant the whole year.
Rightfully so. It's just...
Like you say, we could put Sami as most improved now, but he's been genuinely good all along, hasn't he?
Like I say, I think Karrion Kross and Gunther are really two good shouts for most improved. Especially...
I mean, he hasn't had many matches, but we could also throw in Logan Paul.
Yeah. I thought you were about to say Omos. I was about to chuck my computer in a river. No, generally Shotzi's probably my most improved women's wrestler. Yeah,
I definitely agree with you
there.
The
only other person I could honestly put in there would not be... it'd probably be Shayna. But that's at a push because Shayna's been used poorly. You know, so I think for me, Shotzi is the most improved. She's had a really good spell since she's come up onto SmackDown. We are going to dip into NXT and AEW because again, Impact I don't know much about. New Japan I also don't know much about. Ring of Honor is not available right now, so the last two is NXT and AEW.
Next year, NXT first, and
we're hoping next year that
we'll try and get We'll try and get Impact at least on there.
And we will, we're not making promises, but we will try. So NXT.
Okie doke.
Male Superstar of the Year for NXT.
Right then, I'm gonna go. It's gonna have to be Bron Breakker, I think. I'm not a. He's a brilliant wrestler.
I've got someone else. Carmelo Hayes.
Yes, he's been incredible as well.
I love Bron Breakker. I really love Bron Breakker. But I think for me, Carmelo Hayes is ready for that call up. He's ready to be main roster. He's been carrying that North American title picture for a while.
Yeah.
He's got the charisma. He had that match against Ricochet at Worlds Collide. You know, an incredible...
The ladder match he had, the 5-man ladder match at Halloween Havoc, he was incredible. Yeah, Iron Survivor match.
You know, every match he's been in, he has proven. And I think for me, again, I love Bron Breakker. I do. But for me, the best wrestler of NXT male is Carmelo Hayes. And you still going with Bron Breakker?
I'll still go with Bron Breakker, yeah. He's been like the standard bearer for that match.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Bron Breakker fan, but he's good at what he does, and he's held that men's division up for the past year.
Yeah.
So,
No, sorry, women's.
right. Are we talking? I've got two.
Mine's Mandy Rose.
Yes, yeah. This is what I was going to ask you. Are we still
Yeah.
counting someone who's no longer part of the company? And yes, again, she's been her and by extension Toxic Attraction have been like one of them incredible throughout the year. Mandy Rose, incredible.
Yeah.
Considering how she was used before Toxic Attraction.
Yeah. She's pretty awful, mind you. Like, my most improved is going to go to Roxanne. She could be on the top, she could be at the top, but you've also got to remember, this is her rookie year. Last year, she was in ROH. She was the women's champion of ROH last year.
Yeah. Started the year as ROH women's champion, ends it as NXT women's champion.
It's her rookie year. And that's why I want to say most improved, because she's gone for ROH, coming in here. She had a match on SmackDown, which she proved, by the way, against Bayley. She can hold her on that roster. She's a great personality. She's an incredible wrestler. She's younger than me. She's 23. She's a prodigy. She is if basically it goes right, she can stay with that company for years. She could be one of the big pillars of women's wrestling. Corey Jade's in there. Don't get me wrong, she's great, but Roxanne Perez has just hit levels that I don't think other people have hit. So for me, my women's is Mandy Rose. My most improved is Roxanne Perez. Do you have anyone else?
No, like I say, I'd say Corey Jade would definitely be a close second in the most improved. There's no one else for the women's top spot. For me, it's got to be Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
But,
Roxanne
Perez, and then close behind Corey Jade, I'd say, for the women's.
Most improved male.
Right. Mine is going to be controversial, and it's going to be unique because it's not one most improved male. It's a group of 3.
You're on about Schism.
Yeah. Absolutely love the Schism and what they're doing. Joe Gacy, obviously.
Mate,
if I have to pick one of them,
it's Joe.
Despite what you think of him as a person or anything you've read or whatever, he is, next year, he's got to be at least North American champion. If he doesn't win a title next year, there's something seriously wrong in NXT. Because this guy, the group that is built around, people like, miss the grizzled young veterans. Yes, they were great. But I also love what they're doing as part of the dyad in the Schism. And the fact they've now got Ava Raine, the Rock's daughter. Next year should be a good year for the Schism, I'm hoping.
So on with that. And just the way it's been portrayed, just the way the Schism's come about. Again, Joe Gacy's athleticism is ridiculous, and nothing against him, but for the size that guy is, he should not move the way he does, but he does, and I love it. Because
we were watching the Iron Survivor match together, and you couldn't believe it when you saw him starting to do.
That was the first time I saw Joe Gacy. I was just in awe. Like, what the how?
Yeah, we was doing all these sort of flippy dippy things and flying about the ring.
For me, he. And I'd have to slightly agree. There is one person though that also makes it into my best male improved. It's Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I suppose I can say that as well.
It boils down to he's built himself back up again, get rid of the stupid Nigerian gimmick with whatever his bloody sergeant name.
Sergeant,
whatever,
yeah.
Coming back into NXT and just reinvent himself. Again, Mandy Rose did the same, but Apollo Crews has reinvented himself.
I think coming to NXT was the best thing for him, wasn't it? Because he was a bit... it was Raw, wasn't it? Or SmackDown. It's forgettable.
SmackDown.
Is his time.
Yeah.
Forgettable is the best way to describe.
Before we go to AEW, I'm gonna throw out
we had the Nigerian drum match, didn't we?
Yes. Let's never go there.
Gordon Bennett.
Tag Team of the Year, FDR.
FDR, easily.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean, Usos are up there as well overall.
Yeah. FDR.
They held 4 titles simultaneously.
6-star match this year. Or was it 7-star? They've definitely had a 6-star. They might have had a 7 actually. But yeah, the point being, FTR has just been incredible this year. All round
Mhm.
this year have been amazing.
Mhm.
And whilst we're on about that, we move to AEW.
Mhm.
We're not going to do Dynamite or anything like that. We're not going to go
No.
Rampage Dynamite. It's just the AEW.
Yeah, because it's
So,
all one thing at the moment as well,
yeah.
isn't it?
Male Wrestler of the Year for AEW. I've got two.
Oh, this is
I've
because
got two.
they've got a very strong men's
Yeah.
division, haven't they?
I am going to go with, in second place,
Mhm.
MJF.
Yeah, yeah, I can totally see that.
In first
Um,
place is John Moxley.
mhm.
I don't have to say much more about John Moxley.
No, he's had a great year. He's carried the company when they've needed
He
him.
literally cancelled his vacation to
Mhm.
carry that title because of the CM Punk fiasco. He
Mhm.
literally said, right, I'm going to carry you on my back. And
Mhm.
John Moxley did.
I'm gonna go slightly differently.
Okay.
Daniel Bryan as my
Bryan
favorite
Danielson, yep.
best of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then John Moxley as second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Both
Yeah,
members of the Blackpool
yeah.
Combat Club, but the Blackpool Combat Club itself has been
Incredible,
impressive.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Daniel Bryan, he just gives 120% when he's in the
Like I
ring,
say, the thing is here,
and
you can have people like Kenny Omega, Adam
yeah,
Page,
hmm
Adam Cole, the CM Punk, John Moxley, MJF. The list
hmm
is quite big for the best
yeah,
because they've had a good
AEW
year.
Mal, hmm
Yeah. But for me, it's John Moxley. I just
hmm
think, again, he's carried the company on his back this year.
hmm
Best female wrestler of AEW.
Well, I'm gonna go on a record. Um, Definitely not my favorite AEW women's
Okay,
wrestler, but for the year she's had and the way she comes across, Jade Cargill.
I agree completely.
Yeah,
Jade Cargill is
she
my women's wrestler of AEW.
might not be like their number one
She should be.
women's wrestler, like having the number one
Mm.
title. She might only be TBS, which is like the women's mid card or whatever. But she is a force, and I'd probably even go as far as to say she's my woman overall out of every women's wrestler. She's my women's wrestler
Yeah,
of the year.
I
Uh,
actually fully agree with that. Yeah, Jade Cargill's
She,
had a year to remember.
mhm, she's just incredible in
Mm-hmm.
the ring. She's over 50-0 now, isn't she?
Yeah.
On her matches, she
Um.
she looks like I'd be scared of getting in the ring
Oh,
with her.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
No chance. God, no chance.
mhm. But
No.
yeah, Jade Cargill easily.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good talent.
Yes.
As like we were talking about earlier, you've got your Tony Storms, you've got your Jamie Haters, you've got your um,
Britt Bakers, your
yeah,
Sarayas, Nyla
Ruby
Rose,
Soho's, Nyla Rose. But
Sheena,
Jade
Riho.
Cargill is just on another level at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. There's nothing more we can say. It's Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Just most improved male wrestler.
Oh, now this is another tough one because there's a couple that I can think of. There's loads I can think of. I'll give you a short list, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Acclaimed, both of them, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
We've got Daniel Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
We have got what's his? He's been strong all along though, but I'm going to still put Darby Allin in there.
Yeah.
We've got so many strong
House
contenders.
House of Black.
House of yeah, there's another one. Yeah, you could populate this most improved male wrestler thing with a dozen names easily. There's just so
Yeah.
many of them.
I'm gonna say Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite
Wheeler
and stick
Yuta.
with my Blackpool Combat Club
Yeah.
selections and
Yeah.
go for Wheeler Yuta.
Look,
But
Cesaro's amazing. You know.
mhm,
Again, most improved. You can have MJF in there. To be fair,
mhm.
that. Wardlow.
That's another one exactly.
Do you know what? I'm
Yeah.
switching. I've got to go Wardlow. I'm sorry, Daniel
Mhm,
Garcia. You're amazing, but Wardlow for me has had a great
mhm,
year as a wrestler and as a person.
mhm.
It's Wardlow for me. Wardlow. Most improved female wrestler.
You know what? I've got one, and I don't think anyone would have thought that I'd choose this one.
Okay.
Sky Blue.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, you think about it. She'd spent a couple of years wrestling on the Indies until last year, just before All Out, I think it was. She had a match which she lost, and Tony Khan said, "Look, come to do the women's casino battle royal." She was in that, didn't last very long,
Nope.
but she's been regularly featured over the past year, and she doesn't win every match, but she's picked up some wins against named superstars on AEW.
Yeah.
And I just think that probably next year she'll come more into her own. But yeah, I'd definitely say, considering where she was at the beginning of the year, she's definitely improved a great. She was up against Britt Baker 1-on-1 the other week on
Yep.
Rampage, and they had a damn good match. So yeah.
Jamie Hayter for me.
Yeah, Jamie Hayter's a very good shout. Finally got a title she deserves. And...
Yeah, this is the main thing. She was good. She was good as a psychic, but she really came into her own. And the crowd, I mean, you look at the people on Twitter, you look at the people on whatever, everyone is literally going, Jamie Hayter should be champion. And everyone's doing it, and she got a championship. She's had a good championship run so far. She's not had a bad one. She's doing well. Jamie Hayter, since the start of the year, has just come to a different level altogether. And rightfully deserved.
I'm looking forward to the point where Britt Baker turns on Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way Britt, with her ego, is going to be happy with Jamie Hayter being the women's champion for ages and ages. Eventually, she's going to snap and want to get that title back. So yeah, that'll be a very good storyline as well, I think.
Yeah, the Acclaimed also deserve a very notable mention. The way they
stuff with Daddy Ass and Sesame Daddy,
just from where they was at the start of the year to the tag team they are now, they have grown levels upon levels upon levels, and they stand out in their own category. In all fairness to them,
because people hated them at the start of the year when they were heels and they were doing. And they're not overtly changed as much because they're still doing the raps at the start that are cheeky and that, but they just cut. They're more likable now for some reason, and the stuff, especially with Billy Gunn joining them, and the fight with because it all came about in the face turn with Billy Gunn and the Ass Boys, or the Gun Club.
Ass Boys works better. And so, last but not least, we have a surprise entrance here for the Rammy of Honor wrestle, whatever, I don't know what it's called. Basically, it's the Rammy of Honor Club. And this is dedicated to Saul Vickers.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Not the best co-host, because he's the only co-host, as the best, as honestly, the best person to do these with.
Oh, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. I enjoy doing them with you. We've always said, haven't we, that we're talking about this in Discord VC anyway, because we've been doing it talking about wrestling stuff for months before we even started these. So it just seemed natural for us to start doing it together and record
and look,
it.
We've spent an hour and a half talking about our top moments and the best wrestlers, and it's just flew by. But going on,
I only feel like we've been talking for about half an hour, 45 minutes. It don't seem like we've been talking for as long as we have done, does it?
So, regarding this title as well, right? This is going to be the staple for the new channel. And when I say staple, basically, this is the Rammy of Honor. It's not Ring of Honor, it's the Rammy of Honor. And
still ROH.
It's still ROH, it works. Basically, this title will now be used as the best wrestler of the week kind of title. Who deserves the best wrestler of the week? And more so, the best wrestler of the month might come about.
Yeah.
We'll have a little gander. This title is now going to be dedicated to the best wrestlers of the week in the Raw, AEW, and SmackDown reviews. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as of January the 2nd, when Raw comes out, this video and this concept will now be moved over to S&R Reviews. Our new joint channel in giving you reviews, not just wrestling reviews. It will start off as wrestling reviews, and we'll explore during the year.
Yeah,
But
there's already one or two things that as one-off reviews I've been thinking about
yes,
doing. So,
we will offer, as it stands, a Raw review, which we'll both
hmm
do.
yeah,
Saul will do the AEW review.
yep.
I will then do the SmackDown review.
I'll just clarify when I say AW review, it'll be
Just Dynamite.
Dynamite.
Just Dynamite, yeah.
I'm not putting myself through watching Rampage.
No,
I
because
know it's only an hour, but it's not.
I mean,
It's not great television.
when certain people lose all the time, it gets very annoying.
Yeah,
Hey, but
Madison Rain, Sky
Madison.
Blue.
Anyway, this title is going to go to the wrestlers of the week for the ROH balls, for the AW, the SmackDown, and Raw. So this is what this title is going to be used for. And again, we are doing a new channel. If you want us at any point to review certain aspects of any game, a new game that comes out, a film that comes out, maybe a song,
yes, TV series. Yeah,
we're here to review.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you right now that the Royal Rumble will be reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first inclination of a review. We're going to do, obviously, the Raw, as we said. But the Royal Rumble will be reviewed. We'll do the predictions as normal. So, again, start of the year, we'll have a table. We are going to be doing predictions for every PLE event, WWE-wise. And at the end of the year, we'll come up with something. You will have me doing the War heads very soon. I need to find them because I tied them away for Christmas. And
yeah, because we're still owed one from Crown Jewel, I believe, isn't it?
I don't know where I put them because I cleaned my room. The point being is we're going to have a table and we're going to have thingy. Again, we're going to have a good time with this and on the new channel. So I will give the link out more than likely on New Year's Day when the channel's set up. So you will see us on the new channel, S&R Reviews. Again, whatever reviews you can think that we should do, we can go do some old ones. We can potentially go and do Diablo reviews because we've been playing that recently. And look, the playing field is massive now. We have a massive project on our hands, which we're looking forward to, aren't we?
Yeah, we're excited about, especially now going to have the joint channel. For doing it as well. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, I think, for us. And like you say, we're excited about it. We must mention though that there is one more wrestling review on this channel.
Yes.
Your one will be the SmackDown one at the weekend, won't it? Probably New Year's Eve, I'd imagine.
Yes, it will be.
Doing that.
I will basically I'll watch SmackDown and do a review straight after. To get it out and done. But yes, so this is going to be the last official joint
one for me and Rammy to do it.
The joint review podcast, let's say, of the year and of on this channel. So we want to say massive thank you to all the support we've had since we started. Again, we started just because we like talking about wrestling. And we can go on.
How long
like
have we
this.
been doing it now, mate? 3-4 months? Because I know it's definitely after.
It was a month
Triple
after I
H
started. So I started obviously in September, probably posting every week. Right? I think we started in October. Start of October is when we first did it. So we're doing it for about 3 months now. Gone to 4. And we are going to go from basically try and do every week. Stuff might pop up, so you might not get it at the same time every week. Well, work's work and life's life.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But you will more than likely be getting 3 videos a week with maybe an inclination elsewhere. I will still be doing my stuff on my channel. Saul will still be doing stuff on his channel.
Yeah.
We just have a joint project.
Admit, I've taken a break over Christmas.
I've took a break
doing
over
anything.
Christmas.
I'm going to I'll personally be starting again with YouTube videos next year on my channel, and I'll also be trying to stream at least once a week if I can.
And when it says stream once a week, is just down there, look, AcidicSaul09 on Twitch.
Yeah, on Twitch. Wonderful. His one's down there as well, but you're probably already following him.
Somewhere down there.
He did an awesome quiz the other night on Twitch.
Yeah, we had a really good.
We had a proper right laugh doing that, didn't we?
We did trivia. My last stream of the year, actually. Yeah, streaming's going to be a talking. And I'm going to be streaming on YouTube next year. I've decided I will stream on YouTube next year.
Ooh.
So we will get stuff. It's going to be a busy content creation next year. But in all fairness, we've set the foundations on what we need to do. We figured out what works, what doesn't, and we're going to go ahead.
I'm going to make a suggestion now as well. Next year, how about a live Diablo 4 review when it comes out.
He had me at Diablo. We're doing it. But
no doubt we'll both have
yeah.
it, and we'll just do a little
Hell,
live.
I know I want to do a Transformers Rise of the
on...
Beast. Transformers is coming out July, and I know I want to review that. Let me tell you now. But yes, to finish up, thank you all for your support. It's
thanks
been
a lot, everyone.
Amazing.
Really appreciate it.
We've loved everything about it. You know, we are very grateful to have you guys support us and watch our videos that we do. And like I said, now we're going to give you a platform where you can watch them whenever you want.
Exclusive reviews, yeah.
Yes. And again, we might, like I say, it's going to be AEW, SmackDown, and Raw. It's how we're going to function with the odd bits of maybe we get a film, music, game, whatever it may be. But until then, till the new year, everyone have a good new year.
Yeah.
Have yourselves.
Stay safe and don't drink too much.
And if you're going to drink, stay safe and get plastered. But that's all from me for the reviews on this channel for this year.
Yeah. Well, that's all from me for reviews on this channel.
We will
forever,
see you.
But I'll see you on the other one.
We will see you on SNR reviews. Thank you guys for watching.
Peace out, everyone. Take it easy.
Peace.